Working as the head trainer at Lodestar Ranch is my chance to prove I have what it takes as a woman in a man's world. The only problem? My boss is the world's grumpiest cowboy, and I can't keep my eyes off him. Between running the ranch and being a single dad, Adam Hale has the weight of the world on his shoulders. But beneath his gruff exterior is a man who is fiercely loyal and compassionate. His heart has been broken and is not looking to repeat the experience. After chasing my dad's approval my whole life, I know better than to get my heart tangled. But it's hard not to melt for this man and his son. When things get heated at a local rodeo, I have to remind we're not at the ranch. He's not my boss here, unless he wants to be. She's a grumpy security expert. Reese doesn't do relationships. Especially not with tall, sexy men with golden retriever energy. Nope, she prefers her men brooding and silent, with no strings attached. So when she hooks up with her gorgeous coworker after their friend's wedding, she does what any sane woman would do. She runs. He's a sunshine badass. Unfortunately for her, they've got to go undercover at a couple's retreat, which means one room, one bed, and a simmering heat neither of them can deny. Constantine, aka Cash to his friends, has been burned before because of his wealth. But Reese wants nothing to do with his money, which only intrigues him even more. Now that they're sharing a room, his hot and cold vixen isn't getting away from him again. But he's got to keep them alive long enough to show that what they shared is more than a one-time thing. Something that proves more difficult when people around them start dying. Emery Darlys hates her job. She's a journalist stuck writing feel-good local stories for a web magazine, and she's grumpy about it. In fact, she's going to burn out quickly if she doesn't get to write something more interesting soon. Trevor Kovacic's coffee shop is failing. It's the place that houses all the memories of his family, and it's got 2 months, tops. He's trying to stay positive, but he needs a miracle. Emery and Trevor have nothing in common. That is, until they share an unforgettable one-night stand. They never expect to see each other after that, until Emery makes a bold bet with her boss to write a viral feature, and they end up face to face. Again. Desperate to win and intrigued by Trevor's situation, Emery pitches a series of articles about his shop. They'll have to work together, but that should be easy, if they can each stop thinking about that one passionate night. I'm a single dad, not the prodigal son. And that gorgeous, sunny blonde. She's just an employee. Gabe. When Dad needs help running our family resort at Calypso Key, I can't say no. So I bring my daughter home to raise where I grew up. Except the resort is worse off than I expected. Still, I understand business. Women, not so much. And after my divorce, I don't believe in love. Then I meet new dive master April Desmond. She was hired before I came back. I have one job, to cut costs everywhere I can. I try to deny the attraction. After all, I might have to fire her. But that sheet of golden hair. Those sky blue eyes. The sparks become an inferno. We're opposites in many ways. April is the sunshine to my grumpiness. But we agree on one thing, neither of us wants a serious relationship. We make a promise to keep things casual, and it works great. Until one of us breaks our pact. I've known Marigold for years. But I never saw her as anything other than my sister's best friend and the world's sweetest librarian. Until now. Asking her to help me form a men's book club forced me to realize how sexy she is. How sunny. How much I want her. Not that it matters. Being our small town's sheriff doesn't leave room for attachments of the happily ever after variety. So, engaging in a hot holiday fling with her would be an epically bad idea. But I did it anyway. Now, the more time I spend with her, the harder it gets to remember all the reasons why we shouldn't be together. Soon, I'll need to walk away. I know I'm not the kind of guy she deserves. No matter how much she makes me wish I was. An icy, broody professor, a sweet, kind-hearted student, and a forbidden love that changes everything. The first time I met Ryland Anderson, I sprawled at his feet in his classroom. His glare burned right through me and turned my world upside down. Then, an impossible choice tore us apart before anything could happen between us. I thought my decision would calm the storm and Ryland Anderson would just become a memory. I couldn't have been more wrong. When Ryland crashes back into my life again, the spark between us turns into an inferno. Still off limits and still my professor, the storm we thought we escaped is now impossible to outrun. But the stakes are higher, his reputation, my future, and everything we stand for hang in the balance. Cassidy Clark. He's the biggest jerk in town and the oldest of the Montgomery brothers. Standing tall and built like a chiseled god who could lift a truck, he owns the biggest logging company in Montana. Everyone wants a piece of him and his wallet. Of course, he's got that broody, mountain man vibe with a signature smoldering scowl every woman with a pulse wants to pounce on. All except me. I can't stand him. Butch Montgomery. She works at the local coffee shop and writes greeting cards. Who even buys cards anymore? She doodles on the to-go cups, whether it's a flower or a kind-hearted message to lift someone's spirit for the day. I can't stand it. What's even more frustrating is she doesn't do any of it for me. Not since I complained one single time about not wanting a flower drawn on my morning cup of coffee. So when I get a chance to be her knight in dirty jeans and work boots, I don't pass up the opportunity to show her how she truly makes me feel. And I'll do anything to be the lucky man who gets to call her mine. I made a horrible mistake. At my class reunion, I kissed Owen Conrad, my sworn enemy of over 10 years. The former baseball player is my opposite in every way. Where I'm organized and considerate of others, he's chaotic and selfish. Where I'm polite and dependable, he's brash and flaky. The one thing we have in common is that we're both teachers at Sapphire Creek High School, so I can add co-workers to the list of reasons I should not have kissed him. I blame the champagne, but he doesn't buy it. No matter how hard I try to convince him to pretend it never happened, Owen refuses to forget it. He insists there's something between us, a spark worth exploring. And it's not long before I have to admit he's right. The laid-back giant with a boyish, lopsided smirk is actually very generous and fun. He also knows me surprisingly well and sees beyond the walls I've built around my heart. When I'm with him, I'm more than schedules and rulebooks. But no matter how charming he is, it doesn't change our professional dilemma. It's taken me years to establish an impeccable reputation and a well-rounded career for a promotion I desperately want and deserve. A relationship with Owen would put everything I've worked for at stake. Is an unexpected love worth the risk?